Autism spectrum disorder affects about 1% of the population worldwide, and children with this condition, they face unique challenges that can impact their health. In this video, I'm going to cover some of the benefits of different types of exercise in this population, and I'm also going to share some key insights from an exercise physiologist who works with this population on a regular basis. I'm Dr. Elise Brown. I'm a scientist who studies how exercise helps to prevent and slow the progression of diabetes. Autism spectrum disorder is a neurodevelopmental condition that's characterized by unique challenges with social skills, communication, sensory stimuli, and repetitive behaviors and interests. The most recent estimates, so 2022, suggest that autism affects about 1% of the world's population, as I mentioned earlier. And even though boys tend to get diagnosed more frequently than girls, girls tend to mask characteristics and present differently, and therefore they may be underrepresented. Recommendations for improving testing in girls were published in 2024, and they focused on expanding the types or broadening the types of behaviors that are looked at, taking into account masking of characteristics in girls, and also, if a mental health condition is present, ensuring that that condition doesn't overshadow the autism diagnosis. Higher BMIs are common in children with autism, and if this persists into adulthood, they're more likely to develop other health conditions like type 2 diabetes. This is why it's really important that we have evidence-based practices in place to support children with autism in being physically active. When working with children who have autism in terms of working with them in sport and exercise, some characteristics that may be present, not in all cases, but in some, is that they may have challenges with maintaining attention, they may have challenges with emotional management, and then also performing gross motor skills or some gross motor skills as well as coordination. Now, challenges with motor control, coordination, balance, this is termed dyspraxia, and it's a separate diagnosis from autism, although it is commonly seen in autism. Autism is a very complex condition, and there may be challenges across different domains. Every child is going to be different. Exercise can help to relieve some of the challenges that children with autism face by improving brain function like memory, attention, self-control, and inhibition. In exercise and sports programs, these can offer unique social interactions that promote multisensory experiences. Physical activity and certainly sport, they can be more challenging for children with autism because of common requirements of motor skills like coordination and balance, communication, and also sensory stimulation. A key aspect in working with children with autism is a focused approach on improving coordination, specifically gait and balance. And balance is a really complex motor skill that seems to be the most affected in autism of the motor skills. Some of the different types of exercise or sports-based interventions that have been used in children with autism include Taekwondo, karate, skating, water-based interventions, and also video game-based interventions. These exercise interventions that have focused on improving balance, they've been effective in improving coordination, running speed, agility, as well as balance. There was a 2021 meta-analysis by Georgievich and colleagues that reviewed 15 different balance interventions in children with autism, and it included 195 participants. They found that the largest improvements in balance were from doing kata techniques used in karate, as well as Tai Chi. And then they found medium improvements in balance from the children that were doing Taekwondo. Martial arts in children with autism has also been shown to improve executive functioning in the brain, meaning improved memory, better cognitive flexibility, meaning they can shift from different thoughts and different tasks more readily, and also better behavioral inhibition, meaning reductions in fear and anxiety when encountered with new situations and new people. Other types of exercise programs have also been effective in children with autism in improving executive functioning, like cognitive flexibility and inhibitory control, meaning that they're better to suppress some of their natural urges and respond in a more appropriate way to different situations. These types of exercise programs included things like video game-based exercise programs like Dance Dance Revolution, Kinect Tennis, and traditional types of aerobic exercise like jogging, bicycling, and different types of ball games. What may work for some children in terms of enjoying and continuing to participate in different types of sports and exercise may not work for others. If karate doesn't work, maybe you want to try Tai Chi or one of the video game-based activities. Stay focused on their strengths and what they can do. I listened to a podcast hosted by the American College of Sports Medicine, or ACSM, and keep in mind this is the leading organization in the world for exercise and health research, and the guest on their show was an autism exercise expert, David Geslak, who's been working with children with autism for quite a long time. He had some great insights from his experience in working with this population and their families, and I put a link down in my description to this podcast as well as a blog that he wrote. And these insights are meant to help any fitness professionals who are interested in working with this population. In autism spectrum disorder, think of spectrum as being different levels of support needed to learn a different sport or exercise-based skill. Avoid using terminology like high functioning and low functioning. Instead, use terminology like level 1 support or level 3 support. It really depends on the different challenges or characteristics that the child has, whether it's more communication or behavioral based. Consider using task analysis to teach a new skill. This means taking a complex skill and then breaking it down into more smaller, manageable skills that can be built upon to eventually learn that primary skill. It can sometimes take time to learn a new skill, and so it's important to focus on their capabilities instead of what they can't do. Depending on the child, it may take more information processing and learning additional skills when trying to teach them gross motor movement like running, jumping, and skipping. While learning difficulties may be present in some children with autism, it's a separate diagnosis. Once again, every child is different. One of the first benefits that he notices whenever he works with children with autism is their increase in confidence. He would hear this from the kids themselves as well as their families. Exercise and physical activity have a lot of benefits, and they can even improve social skills in children with autism. A 2024 meta-analysis found that regular physical exercise in children with autism, it had a strong beneficial effect on social cognition, meaning the child's ability to understand the social world and to make better decisions in that social world. And then it had a medium beneficial effect on social awareness, communication, and motivation to be more social. Since younger children under the age of 7 have more flexibility in brain development, there's greater opportunity to improve social skills in this younger age group through exercise. David said that he focuses more on low-impact, movement-based activities, like functional movements including hip extensions and abdominal exercises. He says that it's important to focus on movement first and sport second, because sport requires more complex skills like communication, social skills, and then navigating in an unstructured environment. And most physical education programs in the U.S. are more sports-focused, and this can set children with autism up for failure. He also emphasized the importance of building trust with that child and their family, because this is a vulnerable population, and the family can provide unique insights into what helps that child learn and different levels of support that that child might need. David also recommended providing an exercise program for that child that they might be able to do with their family, but under no circumstances should you judge them if they don't do it. You have to keep in mind that the family is likely having to juggle multiple professional appointments, and you just have to do your best. Provide a positive report to the family about what that child did, understand how to work with that child in an exercise context, and focus on strategies that work for that child in improving their exercise and sport-based skills. ACSM offers an Autism Exercise Specialist certificate that provides formal training in working with children with autism in an exercise capacity using evidence-based strategies. And I provided a link to that certification down in the description. Thank you for watching.